Ezekiel, whose name means God strengthens, was a priest from Jerusalem.
His life took a sharp turn in 597 BC.
When the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar conquered the city and carried away many of the leading citizens, including Ezekiel, into exile.
He found himself settled with a community of Jewish exiles in a village called Tel Abib, on the banks of the Shebar Canal in Babylon.
Around the age of 30, 5 years into his exile, Ezekiel received his stunning call to be a prophet. He was granted a profound and mysterious vision of God's glory, which appeared as an elaborate, wheeled throne chariot pulled by 4 living creatures.
This vision profoundly demonstrated to Ezekiel that God was not confined to the temple in Jerusalem and a terrible Locoperans, but was sovereign over all nations, even in Babylon. God then commissioned Ezekiel to be a watchman for the people of Israel. His duty was clear: to warn the rebellious people as his sectal people about the coming punishment for their sins.
Ezekiel's initial prophecies focused heavily on the impending destruction of Jerusalem.
The people back home, and even some of the exiles, believed their city was safe.
To shake them out of their false confidence, Ezekiel performed several dramatic symbolic actions.
He lay on his side for a long period to represent the siege of Jerusalem.
He cooked his food over a fire made from dung, to symbolize the famine the city would endure. He shaved his head and beard, dividing the hair into 3 parts to show the fate of the inhabitants.
Some would die by plague or fire, some by the sword, and a small remnant would be scattered to the wind.
He also had a vision where he witnessed the true reason for the coming judgment. The temple in Jerusalem was filled with idols and abominable practices.
He saw the glory of God reluctantly depart from the temple, signaling that God was abandoning the city to its fate. When Jerusalem finally fell to the Babylonians in 586 BC, Ezekiel's earlier, severe warnings were proven true, leaving the exiles in despair.
After the news of Jerusalem's fall reached the exiles, the tone of Ezekiel's message shifted entirely. He began to speak of comfort and restoration. The judgment was complete, and now God would show mercy.
One of his most famous visions, known as the Valley of Dry Bones, powerfully illustrated this hope.
Ezekiel saw a valley covered in dry, dead human bones.
God asked him if these bones could live again. As Ezekiel prophesied to the bones, they rattled, came together, were covered with flesh, and finally had breath put into them, becoming a great army. This vision promised that the scattered and seemingly dead nation of Israel would be resurrected and restored to their land. Ezekiel also spoke of a new covenant, where God would give the people a new heart and a new spirit,
enabling them to truly follow his laws.
The story of Ezekiel concludes with a vast, detailed vision of a new, purified temple and a restored city of Jerusalem in the Promised Land.
This vision symbolized a future where God would dwell once again among his people, and an amazing rivers of life would flow from the temple, bringing healing and life to the land. The new, holy city in this vision was given the ultimate name, "The Lord is there." The story of Ezekiel thus moves from a powerful experience of God's holiness in judgment to a final, glorious promise of his eternal presence with his people.